Hello. Welcome to episode 4 of Spiritual Laws That Have Been Broken. I was thinking about it, I was like, wait, I gotta get to the next episode. Because it's been a couple of weeks. Like, wait a minute now, missed it. What's going on now here, girl? Gotta get it together. Okay, so this one is about the law of inspired action and how many times in life it could be broken. And this is something that we actually cast on ourselves when it comes to this spiritual law that is broken, the law of inspired action. Okay, so it says a principle within some spiritual and self-help frameworks emphasizes that action is essential for manifesting desires and goals. It suggests that while intentions and visualizations are important, yes, it's the actual inspired actions taken that bridge the gap between dreams and reality. And we all know that to be true, but sometimes, do you notice how there's points in life where it could become difficult for you to take a certain action when you know you should, or when you know you actually need to, in order for you to get the results that you want? It's making me think about, like, how people always talk about New Year's resolutions. They're like, okay, so I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna eat healthy, I'm going to stop watching so many nonsensical videos, and I'm gonna learn something. And it might last for a couple of weeks, but then people fall off. Or people that want to start a business and then it gets too tough. When the going gets tough, the tough stop going because people give up. So that's immediately what this law has me thinking about. It says action is key. The law highlights that simply wishing for something isn't enough. You need to actively work towards it. It's making me think about that saying, how I go? Faith without works is dead. I believe that's what it's called. Faith without works is dead. So that's like somebody saying, I have faith, things will change, things will get better, but they're not doing anything though to make it better. People tend to have this mindset that an opportunity will just fall on their lap, and some may see that as a random blessing, or some would say luck. And honestly, sometimes for some people things do fall on their lap, opportunities, but that's not something that you should like strive for, because it doesn't really make much sense. Just it's not likely. It's not always likely that something like that would happen. So in order to increase likelihood, in order for you to increase the likelihood of the result that you're looking for, action is required. If you just look at it like that, it makes your life so much easier. Yes, action is required. You have to take action. Otherwise, there ain't gonna be no action. Okay? So, yes, action is necessary. Let me see. Inspired actions. These are actions that feel aligned with your inner guidance and desires, rather than being forced or driven by fear or obligation. That's a big one. They often come with a sense of ease and enthusiasm. I really like this one because it's highlighting the fact that it's good to receive inspiration and actually act on the inspiration that you received. Sometimes you can listen to something someone had to say, and it can trigger like maybe trigger is not the bad word, but not a good word for this, but this is what I want to say. It could not, I won't say trigger. I could say it could bring about an abstract thought that is linked to whatever it is that this person said, and it will make you, it's almost like sometimes you could speak to certain people and the conversation or just conversing with certain people can cause branches of thought, and It's like a tree. You know how there's the main branch and then the other branches sprout from that branch, and that's how you see the tree is growing out to be larger. It's because the other branches branch out. And so inspiration, I heard it allows energetic collaboration, because through connecting through people who are on a similar frequency to you, or just have the same morals and ethics and the same values as you, is very likely that when you get around these certain people or these types of people that are divinely aligned with you, you will receive much inspiration from these types of connections. And that is community. Like that is what community is about. You know, because when you connect with people who are life-minded, like I've been saying that lately. I actually typed it in my book. I put life-minded. I meant to put like-minded, but I actually like that term because it has, I feel like it's more intentional when it comes to the actions that are taken in life. Because if you are dealing with people who are on the same life, or maybe not, they see that life should be lived a certain way, and the both of you are in alignment with that idea, it's like, it's divine alignment, because you are both aligned with the same ideology regarding life and how life can be beneficial and how to utilize the resources that are available to make the best of life. Life-minded, because you can live a life that it basically encourages death, or you can live a life that promotes life and growth, you know? So I like the term life-minded people, because they have the same type of life in mind. And for me, that would be heaven on earth. That's like a sense of peace among the chaos. We must all learn how to do that if you want to experience heaven on earth, because that's like a part of it. Okay. I feel like there's something else here with inspired actions. I also feel like inspired actions is I want to say marker. I don't know why I want to say marker, but it is maybe I can call it an illumination that you are actually living life. Because the more you move around and you connect with different people and you see different places and you learn new things, that's living. Because we must always remember that earth is a school for us to learn. We are souls and spirits. Our soul and spirit is having a human experience, right? So when we're here to learn. Like that's the whole point of being here in this earth realm, is for us to learn, for our soul's journey to increase the knowledge base within the subconscious mind, like within the consciousness. And it's like the more you know in each lifetime, the more powerful you become in the next lifetime, is what Spirit wants to say. So that this is one of the reasons why it is so important to incorporate inspired action into your life, because it shows that you are on the journey, you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path. Because if you're just living a life in like darkness and you can't find your way out of the light, or you're not self-reflecting, because self-reflection also brings inspiration, because you'll be inspired to move differently in the future when you reflect. Self-reflection is also very powerful when it comes to learning what to do and what not to do, and really learning you. You learn yourself, and you learn your flaws, you learn your strengths, and you also learn your likes and your dislikes. All of these things are very important in life, and if you don't have them, you will be confused. And it is very likely that you will sway to and from on a regular basis. Okay? It's making me think about a tumbleweed when you see it like in a Western movie. And the first scene is like you see the dirt, the dirt area, like everything is just dirt, no grass or anything. And then you just see a tumbleweed roll. That's always usually in like a cowboy movie. I always see that, but it made me think about that. And that's how individuals are when they're not grounded within their own energy. They'll just blow with the wind. So whatever is hot, whatever is like popular, whatever people are talking about, that's where they will go, because they haven't found themselves enough to know what actually interests them and what makes sense to them, or what makes sense for them to pay attention to. So inspired action can come from external forces, such as just living, traveling, meeting people, speaking to people, seeing different cultures and lifestyles, immersing yourself in the new, like innovative projects and ideas and, you know, stuff like that. Those are those types of situations in life inspire. Okay? And as well as self-reflecting also inspires. And relationships inspire. Okay? So that's good. That's good. That's a good way to take action in your life. Because a lot of times in life there's not enough people that are willing to take action. And action will be different for every type of person, because every person is different. So it just depends on how you want to take action in life. As long as you're doing that according to who you are as a person, like what interests you, then you're doing what's right. But when you sit still and you're not, sometimes it's good to be still. Don't get me wrong, because that's when you need to slow down to pay attention to your surroundings and to really, I think sitting still is the reflecting. Okay? Because I know what that's like and I understand what that means. To be still is to reflect. And when you reflect, you learn more about yourself so that you can prepare for the next phase on your journey. That's what the whole point is of being still. That doesn't mean that I still wasn't taking action in other aspects of life. But sometimes in certain categories in your life, you need to relax and calm down, collect yourself, and learn everything that you need to learn in that area, so that when it's time for you to go to the next phase in that area, you will be well suited to be able to be of value in that area. Okay? Next one is bridging the gap. It says inspired actions connect your intentions with the physical world, turning aspirations into tangible steps towards manifestation. Inspired actions connect your intentions with the physical world. That kind of goes back to what I was just saying about moving around and meeting people and traveling and stuff like that. Inspiration comes from those places, from those spaces and those experiences. Turning aspirations into tangible steps towards manifestation. Yeah. So it's like taking experiences that you had or that you hear other people have had, and you manifest from that experience through the inspiration you receive during the experience. Okay? Listening to intuition. The law encourages you to listen to your inner voice and take action on ideas that resonate with you, rather than relying solely on logical reasoning. I want to read it again. The law encourages you to listen to your inner voice and take action on ideas, on ideas that resonate with you, rather than relying solely on logical reasoning. I just feel like when someone is like overly logical, even though it's needed, it really takes away, from the spirit, in the soul's cry. It kind of, being too logical can sometimes, or many times, take you away from your soul's cry and from that little feeling inside that tells you something. It's just like this little feeling inside that will tell you something that you need to know, something that is important to you. And I often hear many people say when they follow their intuition, it doesn't steer them wrong. And I could say that as well. And I understand it now. I just know that it took time for me to trust my intuition, and that's what I feel like most people need to work on. I feel like a good way to practice using your intuition is like when you watch certain movies, and I noticed myself doing this, but I was doing it, it wasn't intentional, but I started to notice that it happened a lot. And I would be able to predict what somebody's going to say before they say it. So try that when you're like watching movies or when you're talking to someone sometimes. And you don't have to say it out loud. It could be like a little practice that you do within. And prior to what the person's going to say, come up with what you believe that they might say based on your feelings, right? And that's a good way to practice your intuition when the people around you that you're doing this with, they don't necessarily need to know that you're doing it, because it's like a practice that you're doing to strengthen your own intuition. And depending on who you're around, if you're like trying to predict everything everyone's going to say, it might look a little crazy and people are like, what's wrong with that person? Why are they doing that? It might look like you're mocking them or something like that. So you can only practice this out loud with someone that you're close to. And now it's also making me think about when you're really close to someone, like for instance, a family member, a friend, or your spouse, your husband or your wife, and you begin to finish each other's sentences. It's because the intuition is so heightened that it's a natural thing. You don't have to think about it. It's just this psychic connection that happens, and it just happens just because that's what happens. When you're around someone and you love them, you start to finish their sentences, and you know them so well that it becomes normal, but it always will tickle you because it's like, wow, we really just said the same thing at the same time. Wow, I was just thinking that. I just didn't say it. It's that type of thing. That's that intuition. And that's when you know your intuition is strengthening, because you pick up on like, it also has to do with like social cues and body language. You can see a lot just looking at social cues and body language, but I just feel like many people don't pay attention. Okay, so listening to intuition also serves as a great companion when ready to take action. Okay, it's interesting that I said intuition serves as a great companion, because it does. It actually represents you not just living in the physical body, but you're also in unison with your soul and your spirit. That's living in wholeness. That's what it means to live in wholeness. Okay, next one is not just a plan. It's not about following a rigid plan, but rather acting on spontaneous, inspired impulses that feel right and align with your goals. I do that a lot, and I'm sure many of you do that as well. Sometimes it is mandatory to be somewhat rigid. I don't really feel like it's good to be rigid all of the time, because things can change, and when things are so rigid, to have flexibility removed completely in such a fast-paced changing world and environment, it doesn't really make sense, because it would cause stagnancy. So I feel like spontaneity and aligning yourself with your impulses. Like me doing this video today was kind of impulsive because I realized that I haven't done it in a while. So I was like, oh, let me do it. I didn't think about it too much. It was very spontaneous just now. And it's when you move spontaneously at times, it's not only, it doesn't, I feel like it inspires you because it sparks something within your spirit, I feel, when things are spontaneous, because it's new and it's fun, and it's like it breaks up monotony. Because when you're stuck in a life of just feeling like everything's repetitive and everything's the same, you can get bored and you can just feel like, okay, after a while, like I need a change. And I feel like that's when your spirit just wants to be free, you know, and explore and see. You're looking for inspiration at that time. And I feel like many of us go through those stages, like, you know, those moments where you're like, I feel like I would just want to go out and dance, or I feel like I just want to whatever, you know. I feel like I want to take a walk on the beach, like, you know, just stuff like that, just random. But that's when it's like your spirit is crying out for inspiration. Like you need that time, because you may have been working so hard and doing so much that now it's like, okay, now you need time for you to do whatever it is that you want to do, and nothing that's scheduled. It's like, because if majority of your life is on schedule, on this man's clock, then it could get like a little rigid, like the last point that I was talking about. And when things are rigid, it makes you feel like stuck in confinement, like you're being restrained almost. So in order for you to raise your frequency and lift your spirits, it's good to be spontaneous and allow those inspirational impulses to be exercised, because it's good for you. Because when that happens, it's because you actually need it. It's like, you know how they say listen to your body? That's an intuitive thing as well, though. That spontaneity, that's also an aspect of intuition, because it just comes up and it's something good and you want to do it and you do it, you know. Like some people are like that with traveling. They're like, oh, I want to go over there. Okay, if they got it, oh, we going. We got it, we going. If we don't got it right now, we gonna get it and we gonna go. It's like that type of thing. You just go. It doesn't matter. Just let's go, right? That's a good thing, because many times in life we need that, because this is a place of work for many, and it's like a life of working so hard to pay bills, or to, I mean, that's basically what it is for a lot of people, working hard to pay bills. And sometimes you have so many bills to pay that you don't really have much time for play. And play is like doing whatever it is that you want to do, as opposed to working like an ox, because it gets tiring, it gets overwhelming, and that type of energy can cause sadness, depression, and anxiety. So when you can move spontaneously in a way where you do things that are off cuff, it feels good, you know, and it's good for your soul and your spirit. All right, the next one is quantum leaps. Inspired actions are often the catalyst for unexpected positive shifts that can create quantum leaps in your progress towards your goals. Inspired actions are often the catalyst for unexpected positive shifts and can create quantum leaps in your progress towards your goals. When you take a quantum leap or quantum leaps, you're skipping many steps. It's like going straight to the point instead of taking small steps. What do I want to say about this? Quantum leaps. It's making me think about a portal, and how, or like I want to say a time warp, like a portal. there's certain opportunities in life that could send you through a portal. Like, it's like I feel like it's a time portal, because the time that it would have taken for you to do things on your own with a group, it would be much faster. So many of you may be really desiring to take quantum leaps in your life, but you might not be in the energy to want to be around people, which is something that has been happening, I think, past some years. I think, especially with what happened in 2020 and all that, and then being confined. In some ways it was good for people that needed a break, but in other ways there were people they were really missing being around their people. So that's just one aspect of that thought. But when it comes to quantum leaps, from what I'm getting right now, because Spirit is saying the best way to quantum leap is to collaborate with others that are on the same page as you. That is the perfect environment for a quantum leap, because there's just always something that you might not even be thinking about that someone else is. And that is so powerful, because you don't even realize that you want to know about that. You want to talk about that. You're interested in that. And through that collaboration and communication, it could take you to another level. It could not only encourage quantum leaps, but it also expands your consciousness to be able to retain more knowledge and assimilate at the same time. Because when you learn from someone, or when you just collaborate with someone through communication or conversing, that's a perfect opportunity to be introduced to an aspect of life that you never even thought about before, or you never experienced. And it just improves you as a person. It makes you better. Okay? So that's with that part. So it's like when you don't do all of these things that I'm expressing right now, it's like you committing a spiritual crime against yourself. And it causes us to suffer when we don't take these types of actions. And even if right now you're someone who is unable to travel, go outside. Go to a new place you've never been before. There's still places that you can go to, drive to, walk to, take the train to. What you got to do it. But you can still be inspired in different ways by seeing different, or being in different environments around different people. Okay? Trust the process. Even when you don't see immediate results, the law suggests trusting in the universe's timing and the power of your inspired actions. So sometimes things might not happen as fast as you may want them to, right? And I feel like that consists of patience, which many of us, we it's kind of challenging when it comes to being patient. Many people don't want to be patient, don't want to wait. But I feel like many times when we do wait, things turn out better than they would if we would have rushed. And also, when we're willing to wait for something, it shows how much it means to you, in a way. Like if you choose to sacrifice something in your life to better yourself in order to reap the reward, that like a spiritual reward. When I said that together, it didn't come out right. When you are willing to sacrifice something, I want to say something that is of the flesh, and you make that you sign that contract energetically with the divine, right? And you hold up you don't breach the contract, and you hold up that signature, and you make it look good because you keep your word. The spiritual reward that you receive from said sacrifice will end up being something that you never knew could actually be for you, because you were willing to have faith. That's faith. Trust the process. That's faith. And faith without works is dead. It's funny how it just looped around in a circle like that, because I said that in the beginning. Trust the process is faith. That's exactly what that is right now. The circle of life is what we are all in. We must have faith, trust the process, take action, and know when to sit still. And you know that by paying attention to your intuition and how you just, your energy, because your energy will tell you if you're annoyed. Sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, why am I even doing this? I don't want to do this no more. Sometimes that happens in life. It doesn't even matter what it is that you're doing. It could be work. It could be being a parent. I know sometimes parents get overwhelmed, especially some parents that have a lot of children. I've heard that many times, like, I don't want no kids. You ever hear people, they often say, like somebody in the street will be like, oh, your child is so cute. They be like, oh, you want them? Okay, now we know some people are playing, but some people probably serious. Okay, because people are, a lot of time, many people are overwhelmed because they feel like, especially like single, it always gets me when I see a single parent that has like 10 kids. Like, that's wild to me. You got a whole football team and you doing that by yourself. I mean, eventually the older kids get older, they can help too, but it's just, that's a big responsibility and you have to be alert. And some people, they just give up and they just let the kids do whatever. They don't even care no more. They don't even have it in them to be paying attention or teaching them or doing nothing. They was just knocking the boots and not thinking about nothing else that come after that. So they got a bunch of kids that they didn't really want that many, but now they have them and they're here. Yeah, it's making me think about this thing that I watch, because sometimes I watch like the lives of people that ended up on the streets. Like, what happened to them? Why did they do this? Why? So there was this little girl. She was like 13 years old or something, or maybe 12. But this man stopped and was talking to her and asking her, why you out here? And she would chill with the alcoholics and the drug addicts. Like, and she said that they her friends and everything. And it was just, you know, it made me do this to my eyebrows, because I was trying to figure out, like, you know, what's going on. And then she was expressing that her parents, they have a lot of kids. And she's like the third child, I think she said. And she would just leave and nobody would notice that she was gone. So she would just leave. Nobody, she said she would, like, she looked at it like she was giving her parents a break because they had so many kids. And I think they had like 10 to 12 kids or something like that. They had a lot of kids. So she just was outside, moving around like a grown person, you know? And I feel like many times when people have kids and they don't really want them, that happens. And the guy was asking, like, are you scared? And she was like, no, I always do this, just smiling, not thinking about no danger, just... And it just was crazy that I saw that, and then I was just, my thoughts was like, what is going on? But this is something that really happens. And that's rough, because, you know, if she had the choice, would she really do that? If she had a choice? And I think he asked her that, and she was like, no, you know, I would, these kids be wanting attention, but they don't always get it, you know, and they might end up outside. That's just how it goes, unfortunately. That was a little left field though, but I just felt like I wanted to mention it because this topic made me think about it. So trust the process, have faith. If you don't take action in your life, you are committing a spiritual crime on yourself, and the only person that suffers the consequences and ends up in a mental prison is you. So take the action in your life so that you can actually reap the rewards, the spiritual rewards. When I say those two words together, it messed with me. I almost say it wrong. But when you, I'm going to try again. When you take action and you do what you have to do, you won't be in a mental prison of feeling stagnant and having an idle mind. That's another thing. Not taking action, it also makes me think about having an idle mind. When you don't have anything else to focus on and think about and your mind is running idle, it is very likely that the worst ideas that you could ever come up with in your mind will pop up and blatantly destroy you slowly. So it's like very torturous. So that's another reason why it's very important for you to stay active, stay busy, and keep yourself doing something. This is also good for someone who wants to be in a relationship. You don't want to be someone that's like overly like clingy, because that could get annoying to people. If you have your own stuff going on, you are going to be focused on your projects that you're doing, and you're not, of course you will want to see your person, you love them, but when they have to go do something, you're not going to be all weird, you know, because when someone doesn't have anything going on, they can get annoying and very needy. And that in like, okay, if you're in a relationship and you have somebody that's really hardworking, and then you're just always in this needy energy where it's not even like cute. It's not like cute, like, oh, I miss you, I need you, I want you, come hug me. It's not come cuddle with me. It's like, it turns into like arguments, like, well, when you come back, I'm gonna say that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants that energy. So if you find that you're that type of person, take action on yourself and keep yourself busy. Do things that make you happy and mean something to you, and that grow you, and that strengthen your mind and strengthen your relationship with God, and just make you like do things that make you solid, like a solid person, like someone who is very well-rounded. That is very attractive, by the way. Taking action is actually attractive. And I think that that's attractive for both masculine and feminines, because nobody wants to be around someone who's lazy. Like, imagine, like, this making me think about people who are in these relationships with one being like an amazing person and the other one, they just, I don't know, skate by because of their looks. So one person is doing everything and the other person is just lazy. After a while, no matter how good they look, they're gonna start looking like a fly that keeps buzzing in your face, like a gnat, like that's all up in your eyes when you're trying to see something, just all up in your like peripheral frontal like move, you know. And nobody really wants that. Nobody wants that, because it gets overwhelming and you don't feel like you're in a relationship anymore. It almost feels like you are in some type of toxic situation that you didn't even realize you were getting yourself into. So when you take action on yourself, you're also preparing yourself for marriage. You're preparing yourself for love. You're preparing yourself for happiness and joy and peace as well. And you give the relationship time for you to miss each other. And what else? You have something to talk about. When you're doing things and you're into things and you're studying things and you're like moving around, traveling, working, whatever, doing your hobbies, and you're getting all of these inspirations, those are keys for you to use within the relationship to build an even stronger relationship, because you're so active within yourself. You have so much to give, and you become like an overflow of love. And love is like attention, it's communication, and it's action. You see how it all comes together? So in order to truly live, you have to take action. If you don't, then you're not living. And you're also committing a spiritual crime on yourself. And the only one that is affected by that the most is you and your family. So do the right thing for yourself. It did not feel like I was just talking for 39 minutes. But do the right thing for yourself. And take action. The law of inspired action. Okay? Alright? Alright. If you would like to book a coaching call with me, if you would like to purchase my book, books. There's 3 now. And the third one is going to be released in 4 days. It's the 21st? Yeah. No, 3 days. 24th is going to be released. You can purchase the book for pre-order and you will receive it by email on May 24th. Okay. Everything you do, do it with love. And do not commit a spiritual crime against yourself, because remember, the only one that's going to suffer from that is you and your family. So take action and get busy. Okay? Get busy in all the ways that you can get busy. I'll see you in the next message.